Today, Japanese manufacturing is at a major turning point. Many Japanese firms have expanded their manufacturing base to Asia. Offering the important advantage of low labor costs, China and Southeast Asia have become the new workshops of the world. Japan once dominated the production of home appliances like TVs and refrigerators. Today, it has been overtaken by other countries. Having few natural resources, Japan must continue to be a technology powerhouse in the future. Now the small and medium-sized firms whose highly skilled workforces sustain Japan's manufacturing prowess offer the hope of a new economic revitalization. Here is a contemporary fashion show with models displaying the latest designs. More than 50% of the world's fiber production is made up of synthetics. Part of the synthetic fiber production process involves propelling petrochemical compounds through holes in nozzles. Japan's synthetic fiber industry is among the world leaders for product quality. This company supplies 80% of Japan's nozzles and is also one of the top suppliers to international markets. The size and shape of the nozzle holes affect the properties of the fiber that's produced. Production of such synthetics as acrylic fiber and rayon requires particularly small and precise nozzle holes. One nozzle can have up to 100,000 holes, each under 100 microns in size. They are individually punched by hand. This tool is used to punch the holes. Its size is about 35 microns, roughly the thickness of a human hair. Katayama Akinori is the veteran craftsman who makes these tools. He has been designated a contemporary master craftsman by Japan's Ministry of Labor. The needle-like instrument he's working on is a tool for punching nozzle holes. Carefully controlling the angle of his file, he pares down the tip of the tool. To complete the job, he uses 7 different hand tools. Then comes the part where his skill really makes the difference. He uses his own fingernail as a tool, refining the angle of the tip of the tool while supporting the file on his thumbnail. The remarkable individual skills of people like Katayama are the foundation of Japanese manufacturing.
My job is 注文があってこれをしてくださいいうのに挑戦して喜びだけを感じるんです。
Most of these craftsmen learned their trade in small and medium-sized enterprises employing fewer than 300 people. Such enterprises make up 99% of Japan's companies and employ 72% of the country's workers. They include many small family-owned factories. In Tokyo's Sumida ward, there is a dense concentration of more than 4,000 such factories. Here is one of them, a firm with just 6 employees, but annual sales of 600 million yen. The proprietor, Okano Masayuki, recently developed a product that had been considered impossible to make. It's a hypodermic syringe with a tip just 0.2 of a millimeter wide. By extending the limits of precision fabrication, Okano created a needle so slim that it causes no pain when piercing the skin.
人ができないのやるってこんな数回の話ないんじゃないの？みんなができないって言うんだから。山と同じでみんなが登るない山登るっていうのはこれ最高なやっぱり登山家としてね。やっぱり我々制作者だってさ、ね、みんなができない。じゃあやってみよう。こんなに面白いことないんじゃないの？
Okano inherited the factory from his father shortly before he turned 40. One of his hit products is a metal lighter case. Okano skillfully stamped a single sheet of metal to a uniform thickness to create a deep cylindrical container. Okano has applied this technique in one field after another, from cosmetic cases to precision parts for cars. What's more, he refused to accept payment until he had perfected it. In the meantime, he made ends meet by taking on projects that other companies considered too difficult to try. Recently, Okano scored another overnight success by developing a new battery case for mobile phones. Thinner and deeper than anything made before, it enabled a major advance in the miniaturization of mobile phones. It hasn't always been easy. Sometimes the company's income has fallen as low as 35,000 yen for an entire year. But mass-producing products to maximize sales is not Okano's goal. He is committed to innovation. When a large medical equipment maker asked him to develop ultra-thin needles for hypodermic syringes, Okano's first idea was to use traditional metal stamping technology. He tried using a metal mold to roll sheets of stainless steel just 0.05 of a millimeter thick into hollow tube shapes to form the needles, but the technique proved almost impossible. If there was the slightest gap in the seam of the rolled steel, the contents of the syringe would leak out, and the heat of welding the seam would bend the needle itself. So Okano went back to the basics of the stamping process. He tried it without heating to prevent the needle from warping and experimented with different pressures and mold shapes. Finally, after 2 years, Okano succeeded in making an ultra-thin hypodermic needle. The perfectly aligned seam is invisible and there's no leakage. Okano's needle is expected to be in great demand, especially for treating conditions like diabetes that require frequent injections. The people who learned their crafts and skills in Japan's small and medium-sized enterprises make up a culture of specialized fabrication. Their expertise in precision manufacturing will continue to power Japan's economy into the future.